Oh, I stopped that a little bit more suddenly than I wanted to. Hello everybody. How are we all doing? I'm hoping we're good. What's my hair doing? It's going a little bit wild. Hey, hey. Yeah. Hope we're having a good time. Hope we're excited for an international break that none of us particularly wanted, needed, or will enjoy. International breaks are a bit naff, aren't they? Realistically. Yeah. So basically, the gist is I was going to record a video. I figured, well, I'm going to record a video anyway. I've got to go live at some point today. I might as well go live with the video. Um, I'm potentially also going to do a Football Manager stream later, but I am absolutely snowed under when it comes to work stuff. But this is basically I'm definitely doing a stream today to build into other streams that are going to be happening. So, that didn't work. That was meant to be filling out a banner. Thank you, thingy. Cool. So yeah, 12 players away for Burnley 3. 12 players away, Burnley 3 players away. Hope we don't get injuries. I think we'll be okay. And hello, Andrew. Where is the... There we go, live studio. Fan-dabby-dozy. I'm going to have to fix my automated ad settings because it keeps doing it wrong. Cool. Fixed. Right. Anyway, diving into it. So I figured transfer window is done, which means that all those conversations are finally going away, which is fantastic because it means that we don't have to talk about is X, Y, or Z player coming in, when in reality we don't really know who this player is. We don't know if they're good. We don't know anything about them. Instead, I'm going to do a video on what the challenges are coming up specifically for the 49ers rather than the playing squad itself, because we know what's going on with the playing squad. Win some games of football, it'll be fine. They're not the people that need to set the foundation to achieve that. And I think that's more on the 49ers. So the general gist of the video is going to be what exactly are the 49ers' next challenges? What do they mean for the club going forward? And how exactly can we resolve those? So I'll give it a minute or so. Hello, baby Bremner. Afternoon, all. What news is occurring? Honestly, not too much because it's an international break, which means that for content creating folks, this is hell. It's not great. Maybe considering doing a video on free transfers as well at some point, but I'm not sure, certain on that. Good day, RWH321. 2 lives in a row, nice one. How do you mean 2 lives in a row? I'm confused. Then again, it's my natural state of being. So just take that for granted, I guess. Also going to see if there is anyone that I can point folks towards after this. When is that? You bastard. I've accidentally timed this at the exact same time as Wayman's stream, which isn't good. So anyway, I'm going to get into the video recording. It's going to be a fairly short stream. I might do another stream later on. That should be fine. But yeah, why is my category down as entertainment? What are you doing to me, YouTube? Why do you hate me so? That'll do. Hello, vociferous clang and eyes indeed, baby zebra. I saw you live yesterday. Oh, I get you. Right, okay. I was going to say, I've been doing like live streams for like a month, like every day. I was going to say 2 in a row. That's nothing. Yeah, bad time for you guys. Looking forward to your Leeds 101 with Crystal. I'm also looking forward to Leeds 101, which is why I need to get that rescheduled. I think we're planning on doing that this week. So I'm going to need to reschedule that. But anyway, good afternoon, Danny, and hello, you equally gorgeous donut Jim Housen. But I'm going to get into the video recording bit because I don't have that long right now. I'm in the middle of writing a 3,000-word report for work. Once that is done, I might be able to do a Football Manager stream later, but I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, going to dive into it. So I got to do the test words bit just to make sure that my mic is fine. I'm also going to add questions corner and a what do you think to the bottom. So when it comes to the questions cornery bit, I'm going to rely on you folks, you lovely, lovely folks, to send some ideally sensible questions about board things, just because views ain't going to be great for a good while on any of Leeds' YouTube. So that's why I'm trying to get this video out and ideally sort of portray that nice professional vibe. We can have some silly questions afterwards in like a wider questions corner, but for the video bit, we're going sensible. So, hopping into it. In fact, I'll say I've started at 7 minutes. I might need something to remind me of that though. Starts at 7 and then I need to have lunch and then I've got a meeting. Oh god. So, the transfer window is done at Leeds United. Well, not just at Leeds United, everywhere except Saudi Arabia and Turkey for some reason. A little bit of a dick move on their part, but it's weird. But that doesn't mean that everything is fine. That doesn't mean that everything is quiet. That doesn't mean that everything has been done with. Not everything is complete. And we have a hell of a lot of work left to do outside the world of transfers, ideally behind the scenes, board stuff. So, making this video, I figured I would ask the question of what exactly are the 49ers' next challenges? And I think they are pretty big. I think they could cause some pretty big issues. And we need to remember that the transfers aren't just the start, but they are the more visible bit. Next up, we've got the everything else, the bit that we need to hold to account. So it's ideal that we have this conversation now. We can keep an eye on it as the season goes, and then we can get a better idea of, right, how are things looking going into the future? So the first of those is continual youth work. Now, we had a lot of conversation yesterday, not on this channel, but around Leeds United YouTube, around the Ngenge stuff, the Nigerian left back that we are looking to sign from his current club. I can't remember exactly what club it is, sorry, but my Nigerian football isn't ideal. 16-year-old, absolute wonder kid, and this is what I mean by doing continual youth work. You can sign young players at all sorts of ages. Transfer window basically doesn't apply too much. Not ages, but all sorts of times. The transfer window doesn't really apply too much, and it means that you can just sort of pick up good players here, there, and absolutely everywhere. We need to make sure that after we've basically depleted our realm of youth players who were formerly a Crescencio Somerville, a Pascal Strauch, the under-21s don't look too perfect at the minute. So we need to make sure that we are topping those up wherever we can, whenever we can, and making sure that we are looking significantly healthier going into the future. That is the foundation of a good football club, the fact that you've got decent players behind that first team, and being able to rebuild that between transfer windows would just be the icing on the cake, I think, and prove that the 49ers are doing a lot of decent work right now. Outside of that, not on the footballing side, is international branding and growth. Now, this is the really boring stuff that no one really enjoys. This is the, sponsorships side of things and the, finance side of things. But it's still important because looking through the names that we signed this summer, there was one that I paid a significant amount of attention to, and it's Autanaka. There's one thing that I have learned from working in sports broadcasting across a wealth of locations, including Germany and France and Spain and the UK and the US. And when it comes to locations that are nuts about their big players, Japan's the one. And Autanaka is a very, very promising, consistent international midfielder that plays for Japan. And this is where we need to do that international branding. Because it's a really boring thing to say, to go, yeah, well, we've signed this player because the marketing opportunities are huge, but it's true. He's a very good player. Perfect opportunity to do some marketing, grow our fan base. I wouldn't be too surprised if he stays throughout the next season. We just start doing pre-season tours in Japan because it makes sense for us. Because that sort of branding opportunity is what we need, especially if we get promoted. We need to make our say immediately and get down to things and go, look, we've got this international fan base. Come to our club because the people will love you. And they will, because, I mean, Leeds United admittedly doesn't have the best of reputations, but we're already a big club, and I think this is an opportunity to make us even bigger by focusing on the outreach stuff when the season isn't ongoing. And that would also help to deal with some of the potential fan concerns that we've got. A lot of people have concerns about the Red Bull thing, understandably, because we've seen what happens with Red Bull-owned clubs everywhere. The general gist is, owned by Red Bull, become Red Bull. Admittedly, UK law makes that incredibly difficult, and it's not really a concern that I've got because it's not something that I see as being particularly possible, but it's something that we need to pay attention to. Something that we need to say, right, okay, are you going to do anything to make sure that we are 100% feeling good about this? Because if it's silence, then that's a problem. But at the same time, we need to ask those questions in order to get those answers. And there's further questions. So one of the fan concerns was that the Pavilion Square, Centenary Square, sorry, Centenary Pavilion, Centenary Square, same thing. I messed the wrong words together. The stones were looking horrific recently, but it's been said by the club that they're looking to significantly improve that, better manufacturers, and that's the sort of thing that we need to pay attention to. The sort of like stuff that's for the fans. Are they taking the steps in the for the fans stuff that are putting us in the right direction? And I think it's a good step in the right way. But again, we don't get those questions answered unless they are asked, which is big. And in terms of big, Elland Road's quite large, but Elland Road will be larger going forwards, which is why we need to start having the stadium conversation again. The majority of this stadium discussion has been based around when we get to the Premier League, we can sort X, Y, and Z. We're at the point where we sort of need to get the plans in place, because the sooner we are able to get that done, the sooner we are more financially stable, the sooner we are sturdy, the sooner we are able to continue pushing forwards as a club. But if we're only submitting the plans for planning permission next season because we're in the Premier League, then what are we doing? Because that's just going to slow down all the development. That's going to mean that we're going to spend longer without big attendances when in the Premier League. That's going to mean that we are going to spend even longer trying to catch up financially. Because once we have that big ground, then match day income goes through the roof and we're able to compete a little bit more effectively without saying, okay, we might have to sell a player this summer. Because that match day income accumulates, adds up, gets big. And the sooner we are able to act on the stadium stuff, the better. So we need to ideally see progress on it now if we want to see things happening in the next year or two. So we've got to pay attention to that. And with all of these challenges, we need to keep an eye on it, because why all this matters is because whilst on the football pitch the results are what we see, it's behind the scenes that you set those foundations. And if you've not set those foundations effectively, then on the pitch doesn't improve either. And things start to spiral, and they're not great, and there's potential problems, and it's bad. But as always, that's just what I think, that's how I'm seeing things, and I'm gonna, because I'm recording this one live, hop over to the chat to open up Questions Corner. So I'll give it a minute, and then if anyone has any questions about any of the board stuff, any of the long-term planning stuff, I'll answer a few of those, and then I will bring the video to a close, just because I like doing these live recording things where everyone gets to feel a little bit more involved. Feels like everyone has their say in the content, and it just brings people more into it, you know, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm scrolling through the comments now, and I can't really see too much, but that's because I forgot to ask, which is kind of on me. But with the board stuff, I'm always just a little bit spooked, because behind the scenes with the money, we don't see, which isn't good. So you got to hope what's going on. Question from Danny Talk Sport. Did you know Red Bull have signed with Newcastle? I did not. Have they? Surely that's not a thing. I've just Googled Red Bull Newcastle. Well, ish. What it looks like has happened is Red Bull has become their official energy drink partner. That doesn't feel like that's necessarily something that converts into a full sponsorship, that doesn't convert into like ownership chunks, which especially isn't going to be the case because Red Bull does this for reputational goodness. They're not doing it on the profit front. Formula One isn't profitable. Their various motocross things aren't profitable. I find it incredibly hard to believe that the Red Bull soapbox thing is profitable. It's reputational stuff. I feel like them jumping into bed with Saudi owners isn't going to be good for the reputation no matter what, and will just cause them problems in the future. But who knows? We'll find out. Do you feel there are any improvements that can be done now for the stadium? Yes, I think in terms of internal stuff is how we can improve the stadium now. I think safe standing in as many spots as possible would be good. There's some things that you can't improve, so like all the way to the left of the West End is not something that is going to get better right now because this like leg room is horrendous. Being a somewhat tall person, we've got some short people in the chat, but who knows? And yeah, it's not the best place to sit if you're tall, and it's not something that will get fixed. There's stuff that's like that is structural that you're unable to fix, but other things such as improving the basic facilities like toilets is stuff that I feel like wouldn't really take too much to do. But who knows? Do we think the share of new seats will mainly be for exec boxes or actual seats for the fans? I think there'll be a slightly higher share of executive boxes, but there'll be a hell of a lot of seats for actual fans. Getting the attendance number up is also important because you get to sort of show off to other clubs and say, look, we're huge, it's really big, it's fantastic. But if you're just doing executive boxes, you can't really do that. You can add like 500 people to your total. You've made a load of money, but you've not impressed anyone. Whereas you can make the same amount of money, get more fans in, get reputationally more good, which again, Red Bull will be focusing on. The 49ers will be short-term focusing on, I guess. But it's hard to say. And finally, for Questions Corner, before I just dive into general chatting, I'm right in saying the 49ers will only invest in the stadium following promotion. I believe so. I think so. But I imagine stuff like planning and architecture stuff will already be in the pipeline because it'd be very weird if that didn't happen. Regarding the pavilion square, does that mean my stone will be replaced? I think so. It'll be replaced with the same name and stuff. But yeah, the way that they said it was that they'd replace the existing ones and also open up space for new ones and give one to like a Bielsa and I think they mentioned Wilkinson as well, maybe Reeve, I'm not certain. But yeah, that is it for Questions Corner at the moment. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, become a channel member, all that sort of stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will see you later. But if you're on the live stream, don't leave. Please don't leave. Please, 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 please. Because I'm still going to do more live streaming. Ah! Right, anyway. I was going to say earlier, hello, Perry. It's nice having you along. Leeds prediction now the summer transfer window is over. I genuinely think we win the league. Because we have a lot of very, very good players. We're playing tactically different. I think we're playing tactically better than we did last time around. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going with first. I think we're going to be good. Yeah, it's one of those cases with the chat, by the way, where I did like read through everything, but it's like I can't chuck a chat up because I'm doing a video recording. So unless I start like tying the chat into videos in some way, I feel like that's going to be tough. I did notice that Evie's back. Hello, Evie. That is how you know that I was still reading the chat, because it was like, right, okay, Evie wasn't in before I started doing the video recording. So if I just drop in something that's like, I recognize that you're here, thank you for being here, then that'd do it. No, it's all good. I'm not saying like say sorry for it. It's just like it's me apologizing because it's like I would have responded sooner. I'm sorry, that sort of thing. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's pointed in your direction, but I also wouldn't say that you're likely to have issues with leg room in many cases, to be completely honest with you. So who knows? If we don't pick up injuries, we will be good. Yeah, I think injuries are the worry for me. 2 centre backs out, problem. Outside of that, I think we're all good. Oh dear. Right, I'm thinking I'll stream till about past:30-ish, and then I might just sort of chill. You start height comments to me too, Evie. I mean, maybe, but at the same time, just be taller, you know? Looking forward to seeing Schmidt. I'm also looking forward to seeing Schmidt. I don't know when he's likely to start, though. There's a little bit of a potential that he might get a match against Burnley, because we need to remember that Firpo is on international duty. Sometimes he's had to rush back, which could cause a problem. And we know Schmidt can play on both sides, which could be absolutely spectacular. You know, 5 foot isn't tall for a female, right? That's still shorter than average. Like Evie is more than 5 foot, I think. Is she? Oh no, no, Jim, how tall are you? Shit. Damn right, we ride at dawn. Are we riding on pit bulls? Is that what's happening here? Because I don't think you're gonna get on a horse. 5'2.5". You say slightly more than 5 foot. Agree about the leg room. My knees have a red line imprint across them for hours afterwards. I can absolutely feel that. 6'6". That's cheating. No, that's too far the other direction. That's not on. If you're 6'6" and you don't play basketball, you don't have an excuse. That's where I'm gonna take that. 6'2" for me, good at reaching things. I'm also about 6'2". I'm in that region. I'm 6'1", 6'2". I can't remember which, but who knows. Right. Can't edit that video down now, but what I'm going to do is, as normal when I do this, is I'm going to say that I'm going to be trusting you guys with something. I do play basketball. You see? I knew it. You don't need an excuse. You're just basketballing anyway. You're doing it for the funsies. I'm going to show you guys the thumbnail for the video. And I want to see if you guys think it's good or if there are any potential edits that we could be making. Because I think I quite like it. I think it's okay. Oh, Rummy Yacht. I appreciate it. Also, Jesus. Anyway, this is the vibe that I'm going with on the thumbnail, which I think works. But I don't know, is it umphy enough? Do I need a sad parag? I don't know if I have a sad parag. More pigeons needed. You're not getting pigeons. I'm not adding pigeons to everything. We can't do that. It's neutral. I like it. Thank you. Parag needs to look more determined. Ooh. The thing is, with Parag Marathe, he's not got that many like pictures of him, which kind of sucks. So I can give us this one as an alternative, but he just looks a little bit scared, you know. There is also this one. I'm gonna shrinky dink it down actually. And then we'll you know what, we'll do a poll, we'll do a vote on which version of Parag Marathe is going in this thumbnail. It looks like he's thinking about food in that first picture. A wry smile. He does. He looks like he's like, well, it's not been a good day, but I've got something delicious coming soon. And then we got this one. So what we'll do is we will label them. We've got Parag 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna do it in. You see, I quite like that because it's the sunglasses, but at the same time, is it gonna fit? Because you've also got spacing to think about, haven't you? Bloody YouTube, silly. Anyway, we're gonna do a very quick poll. Two, we got 4. We got voties. Right, we got 1, which I'm going to call sunglasses. We got 2, crossed arms. We've got 3, looking. I'd say he's looking spooked. Oh, we've got number 4, which is no background. Cool. So Run that poll now. Let's see. And whilst you're at it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That'd be appreciated. You'd just be quite nice of you. Thanks, guys. Jesus, you guys like crossed arms. Keep in mind that I can also like horizontally flip it so he's facing that way, which I think would look a little bit better. So it looks like number 3's not had any votes on him yet. So number 3 is gone. So between these ones, I think I agree on cross the arm. Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you very much for your votes, ladies and gentlemen. Is that no to the idea of flipping him over? Because, like, that doesn't work. That looks crap. Or is this? Look at how suave he is. Look at how jolly he is. Look at that. Put a pigeon in the thumbnail. Fine. That works. That's the one. That's good now. There we go. Can we put a dove on? Because I don't like pigeons. Because you asked nicely and you've just been on holiday, sure. No, but they're all flying. We just need one sat there. There we go. Make it small, and then he's having a chat to Parag. That's what's happening there. There we go. That'll do it. I'm afraid Joe started a pigeon thing. We're now making him regret it. Yes, you are. Very much. Looks like he's just decided to name the cop to the coop. I like it. That was good. I refute this statement. You extorted a small child in Hogwarts Legacy, and I thought that was worthy of pointing out. Doves are just fancy pigeons. Yeah, they're just pigeons, but posh. I know, Mark, this was my compromise. Yeah, I mean, a dove will do. We'll take it. So let's get that downloaded. Only page 1 now. And then remove that. And then what we'll do is we'll hop over to Questiony Corner. We'll have a little bit of a natter, and then we'll just call it that. I wasn't meaning to be mean. We hate posh people. We do. We do. Except, well, do we hate posh people? Or do we hate people that are like... Because there's some people that are posh but cool. So, like, a Max Fosh, a YouTuber who I recommend everyone watch. He's got good stuff. Don't do the live, laugh, love. Evie, I thought you were cool. Evie, I thought you were cool. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Why do you mean, and have I apologized yet? I was aiming for the fun and like jokey, and apparently I missed, which is my bad. Admittedly, not having my meds yesterday was bad. Didn't help, but I have apologized. I do apologize. My bad. All this chat with B positive in the back. Of course. We do love Max Fosh. Formal apology needed. Look into the camera and do it. I apologize for being mean when you were streaming yesterday. There we go. I would like to note, though, you did extort a child for their own, like, family heirlooms. That wasn't great of you. At no point have I extorted children. At least not that I know of. Have I extorted any children? I doubt it. Oh, that's scheduled for tomorrow. Okay, never mind. I've accidentally done a redirect to a stream that isn't even happening today. Oh, I'm tired. Okay, let's fix that. Let's not redirect to that one, because that feels like that would be a pointless redirect. Instead, when I'm done, I'm going to redirect folks over to Crystal's channel again, because I'm going to be doing a stream with her. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. Depends on if she's about. Child exploitation is just a learning curve for adulthood. Excuse me? What did I just read? But yeah. The further guilting doesn't work when there is literally a video of it on YouTube. That's like saying that Crystal did a video on mental health and a shooting in the USA, did she? I haven't seen. She did. Oh, she did. I remember now. I saw her tweeting about it. What's her new setup look like? Because I know she's moved. Cool. There's a little bit of me that's like, is there anything in doing like a live stream of, because it's right. Yeah, that's because you do acting stuff. That's cheating. That's not fair. Yeah, is there anything in, and is it my place to do a stream that is like me as a host, because I feel like it's best if asking the questions, because I am not able to answer these questions. But is there something in a stream with Crystal and Evie and another female creator in the space, and just go through like why it's tough? Because I've heard informally why it's tough, and I've had conversations about it, but I feel like it's something that a lot of people don't discuss openly, and it's something that is like weird, because I don't know if it's a spot for me to have that conversation, or if that's a conversation that other people have and I listen to. Because I would very specifically not be sort of imposing myself on that discussion, because it's like I don't know. I need a woman's opinion, please, because it's a toughie. Because I know that it's like a difficult conversation to have a lot of the time, and if it's like a difficult space to have that conversation. I don't know. Oh, they've just done an email about that. Club to replace stones in Centenary Square. They are pleased to announce that the club will be replacing all the current Centenary Square stones free of charge, whilst also creating more space for supporters to purchase new stones. Installation will take up to 2 months to complete, with the work due to start in October. As part of the introduction, the new stones will be installing 3 large stones dedicated to Reeve Wilkinson and Bielsa. Okay, and they are priced. I think it'd be something that you have and listen to rather than commenting on. Maybe you host it and have the women in space talking. That's the sort of thing that I was thinking. It wouldn't be a sort of, well, here's a man's view on how you view football. That would be wrong, because it's not, it's not my conversation to have. But I feel like the reason I was thinking from like a hosty perspective is I've got that bit of a platform to get that conversation seen by people, because looking at who else is in that sort of zone. You got Evie, who hasn't put out a video quite yet. I'm very much looking forward to it, but that means that we don't know how that platform is, and we've got Crystal, who's still got a relatively small platform, and I have seen my own viewer demographics, and it is very much old men. And I feel like those are the people that need to hear these things, because if they don't hear these things, they're just going to continue on with the crap that I have had to repeatedly delete and ban people for when talking to, like, in the comments after the thing that I did with Crystal. Someone was like genuinely horrible. And it's like, right, okay, you can fuck off forever. Thank you. Yeah. And it's sort of like understanding my spot within that conversation that's throwing me a little bit. I'll happily do it. I know Baby Zebra and I are going to have some of these types of chats soon, as we have had many emotional chats on her streams. Evie and I are going to do a little podcast putting the world to rights. Once the channel's up, we're going to do it. That sounds good. On that note, Evie, when's the channel up? Do you still need help with things? I'm happy to help with things. Replacing stones with others. It's replacing the existing ones with fixed versions and making space for more ones. Smash a like and subscribe, please. Indeed, thank you. Some more to buy, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't often, like, I will give myself 30 minutes of head up before I end up doing a stream, which means that I'm never sort of ready for it. By the way, YouTube is doing its ads will run shortly thing, so I'm going to press the ads button. Just if you want to deal with it as fast as you can, click on it, swipe off it, you'll be right back. And the only person who loses out is the advertiser, who needs to pay YouTube more money, and then YouTube give me a little bit more money. So it makes things a little bit simpler. It's good we're getting more coverage with the women's game. The women's side have finally got a Twitter account. Good. Genuinely happy with that. And it's why I'm really happy to be working for DAZN at the moment, because a big brand thing that they're doing right now is the home of women's football, because we've got lots and lots of women's football, and the amount of people that come in and still go, yeah, crap. Okay, they would beat you any day of the week. It's top level football. Don't be horrific about it. You don't need to be horrific about it. Don't know if I'm following the women's team on Twitter, so I'm going to have to find it. They do. It's only got 700 followers, which is a bit of a shame. But they do. My worry is doing it as live on yours, because we've seen it happen live, and as much as these people need to hear it, it doesn't become a safe space for the conversation. This would be one of those cases where, since I'm happy to host and sit backgroundy, like, I'm happy to just, like, moderate the ever-loving shit out of that chat and keep it that good spot. Because I wouldn't want the people having the conversation to have to do the moderating, because that's very distracting. So that's the thing that I'd be happy to keep my eye on, but it's, again, up to you guys. Like, pre-recorded, brilliant. Live, brilliant, because I think it's a good spot for that Q&A side of things rather than anything else. But we are talking about football and women's football and things. Evie asked me to help with the thumbnails, and as much as I like the one I made, Joe is annoyingly better. I'm sorry. Joe has been doing this for a year now, so yeah, I'm always happy to help. Just note on female football presence and pundits, Gabby Logan, Kelly Summers, and Alex Scott do really well in their roles. Are there any other women in the game worth a mention? Plenty. Hold on. There was a match I was working with the Zone, and Emma Hayes was a pundit and genuinely brought so much tactical insight that you'd never get from like a Gary Neville, because like, she's managed and she pays attention to these things. Thank you, baby Brenda. Years ago, I used to work for the women's side. It's taken years for this moment. Yeah, it takes building and steps in the right direction, I think. As an older man with 3 daughters, I know that some other older men need to hear discussions like that. Yeah, comment sections are often a cesspit, and on this sort of thing as well, with maybe if we have a stream going that you share in mod rather than are in it, I don't know. The reason that, like, one of the many reasons that I'm like, right, I will happily like host it and mod it and just make sure it's a space for the conversation to happen, is the moment that goes on someone's channel that hasn't developed that thicker skin of being just piled on. Comments can be really fucking overwhelming. Like, there's been times where I've been looking through my comments and I will have put a lot of time and effort into a video and someone will slate it, and yeah, and it will just hit me for fucking days. And that is after doing this for a year, and that's why I was thinking, okay, we have a good community that already knows that Evie and Baby Zebra and Crystal are people that are already within the space and happy to be part of the discussion. Like, from a community stance, from a safety stance, from a being able to just have the conversation stance, I don't know. Tricky. Like, I'm happy to do whatever direction. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? It's all the blooming feminists coming here and ruining everything. I'm kidding. To be clear, I am kidding. As feminist, I am kidding. Am I now an LWW dirger? I'm guessing it's a lightweight walkie thing, but I don't know what you mean. I mean dirger. Oh, those completing the walk are officially known as dirges. I don't know if I count as official, because it was a different route from the same starting place to a different ending place. But yeah, probably not, because it was an untraditional route. But who knows? Hello, Callum Jacobs. How are things? How's Ipswich doing? At least it's not George, who was of the opinion that Ipswich would get at least 3 points against Liverpool and City. Maybe not. That's the thing. I don't know if it is. That's why we need to take the steps to make it so. Because at the moment, as long as there are people trying to make it not an equal world, we still need to make the steps so that they are not actively trying to unequal, which is annoying. I love that the club are commenting more on women's football this season. It makes sense with having American owners, as US WNT has been best in the world. Yeah. And it combines with the fact that just lots and lots of clubs are doing it. And I am very annoyed that, and this is like a small thing, but the fact that there's not bigger investment from the 49ers into making sure that the women's team has the financial backing to push further up the leagues, because that's how more people get invested. But I also recognize that it's really hard to get promoted because of the way that promotion works over in those divisions. So, literally really happy for the moment that you called me part of the space, because you are. Because currently you mod at least one channel, you will likely mod multiple channel. Yeah. Crazy the stick Nancy's gotten, so she's had to mute replies next. Yeah, and I imagine that if it were to be Graham Smith moving into his equivalent role at the Athletic, things wouldn't have gone quite as toxic. But people had their opinions and stuck by them, in spite of the fact that Nancy knows more about football than anyone. I say anyone. I don't know. The vast majority of Leeds fans. Does anyone know how Kate is? I will be completely honest with you. I came into doing YouTube stuff after Kate dropped off for a period, so I genuinely know very little about who Kate is, how Kate is, all that sort of stuff. But once we get back to the Prem, then the women's team can have hell of an investment. I hope so. If we don't, I'd be sad. Sitting in the Etihad leading 1-0 was fun for 3 minutes. Yeah, that's basically all you get against City. It would always be hard to replace Popey. It would, but thankfully it wasn't replacing Popey. It was Phil. It was also hard to replace, but you know, it would be disingenuous to say that gender did not play a role in the way that she was treated following that. Yeah, it was one of them. It's fine. Likely under an NDA for a lot of the transfer talk. I don't think that would necessarily be the case, because NDAs aren't sort of a thing when it comes to journalism stuff, because an NDA being like an official contract that if you breach, bad. It's more of a sort of informal, I know something's going on here, I don't know the entire story, so I'm not going to publish stuff, because actual journalists don't publish half stories. Didn't like Phil, you always seem to Debbie Downer. Phil's a great guy. Went on the first Square Bowl charity walk with him, and he's fantastic. Had a couple of interviewee things with him as well, but I don't know if they're on this channel. I don't think they are, which is genuinely a shame, but that's okay. Buzzing to see Rotero embarrasses for the third time in the calendar year. I don't know if he'll play, because Brighton are too stacked at the top of the pitch for their own good, which is a problem. Not for them, necessarily. Well, for the players. This is basically the one. Yeah, this is the bit where it's like, good, said something mildly incorrect, and now you got to wade into a comment section that are being horrendous. But anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream in a minute or so, unless anyone's got any questions or things to discuss or anything along those lines. I have a single question for one of the people in the chat. So Evie, is it roughly time for the first video? Please be roughly time, please. It's been so long. Women in football have to be 10 times better to get credit. Yeah, and that's sort of horrific, which is why we sort of need to deal with that. Did you win at 5-a-side? 7-a-side, and yes, very much. We won 1-0. I got kicked senseless, and the referee was horrible. Next week, husband's birthday weekend this weekend. Okay, that sounds good. Cool. Well, remember, I will help with absolutely everything and anything, because you know what my employment is like. Like, weekends are the worst time for me, which makes it, even then, fine. So if you need a hand with that, shout at me. Are you going to do more FM24 streams or vids? Yes. Maybe this afternoon. Maybe beyond that, but who knows? I can still like Archie and Georgie. I've never love Cree, just because it felt like he wasn't properly ours at any point. But yeah. You can hold me to that all you like. I will happily help out with absolutely everything. And Baby Zebra is also giving you a hand, so Debbie Dozy. But anyway, I'm going to bring the stream to a close in a moment. Kind of want us to watch it before Joe because it would be funny. That's rude. But there is also this. Cree had the feeling of the contractor that you bring in for a company, and then you're like, oh my god, you're really good at your job. But you've never been like friends. I kind of want to watch it before Joe because it'd be funny. I mean, I don't want it. No, 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 please. That's not fair. I forgot we need to bring Donk back for the Football Manager. I'm not going to do Donkage for the next couple of streams, though, because the fun injury that I mentioned a minute ago is a shoulder one of many. So I'm going to not do Donk to let that do a little bit of recovering after someone decided to do a violence on me. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Yeah. To Evie/Zebra, shout at me if you need a hand with things, and we'll sort out the various bloody words. Come on, the women's football-y roundtable-y thing, and also channel things. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you later. Ta-ra. Now to edit the video.